It's my pleasure to be able to present this State of the City to you, and it's my fourth time as mayor to be able to have this honor. Before I begin, I need to express my thanks to the Chamber of Commerce for once again providing this forum. Thank you, Shauna and Dan and your entire team for hosting this event and for all the things that you do to make Grande Prairie an excellent place to do business. The Chamber of Commerce, as you all know, is a key partner for the City of Grande Prairie, and I really think that they're symbolic in the increasingly important place that Grande Prairie has taken on the provincial and national landscape. As many of you know, and all of you know because Sean just mentioned it, there's going to be something out of my speech that somebody was going to take. As many of you know, our chamber is now the second largest chamber in the province, while Grande Prairie is only the province's seventh largest city. And so I think Grande Prairie has a reputation for punching above its weight, as they say, and I can't think of a better example of that than our Chamber of Commerce. Congratulations, Shauna, and thank you and your team for all of your contributions. So, although I have the pleasure of being up here today, the work of the city is really a team event. City Council and administration work closely together to ensure the needs of our community are met. So I want to acknowledge the members of my team. In attendance today, we have Councillors Jackie Clayton, Kevin McLean, Kevin O'Toole, Lauren Radburn, Rory Tarrant, and Chris Thiessen. Please give them a round of applause. And the other important part of our team, of course, is city administration, and representing administration today are Community Living Director Gary Roth, Community Growth Director Jeanette Ferguson, Acting Corporate Services Director Don Swant, and Acting Community Safety Director Robert Carroll. Each one of these people and many, many more make up our team at the city. And each one of them plays an important role in the development of Grande Prairie as a community. Thank you all. Well, as was mentioned, 2014 is of course a milestone for Grande Prairie. It's 100 years since our incorporation as a village. I'm certain the early settlers and even the Argonaut Company would scarcely have imagined the vibrant and dynamic city that that tiny village would become. A century later, Grande Prairie is renowned as a hotbed of innovation and the place to find employment. We are the hub of commerce, industry, education, healthcare, and culture for one of the most prosperous areas of our country. During my remarks today, I'll reflect on the work of the city over the past year and some of the significant projects on the horizon, and share with you some of the key points in this new council's 2015 to 2018 strategic plan. I believe that each council acts as stewards of our community. We champion progress for a time, making decisions until we eventually pass the torch to a new group of elected leaders. So I want to express my gratitude to the previous council for its work and give them a tip of the hat to the leaders who preceded us and brought the municipality where it is today. While each council's mandate is wide-ranging, our goals are expressed in our strategic plans, and you should know that virtually every element of the past council's 2012 to 14 plan was completed by last year. So please give those previous leaders a round of applause. So speaking of accomplishments, there are a few other accomplishments and accolades that I'd like to share with you. We're extremely proud last spring to be named the province's best workplace for employers between 101 and 750 employees by Alberta Venture magazine. This was the first time that any municipality has been recognized by that publication. So kudos to our city administration and our employees for making the city of Grande Prairie a workplace of choice. The 2013 Citizen Satisfaction Survey provided some great feedback from our community. 400 residents were surveyed in May on the quality of life in our city and were asked to answer a series of questions on the perceived value for their tax dollars and their ratings on city programs, services, and facilities. The city actually realized considerable gains since our last survey in 2011, and significant increases were observed by Ipsos Reid in several performance ratings. You need to know that we don't do the survey just to find out how great we are. We do it so that we can hone in on the areas where we can improve. And in December, administration presented action plans on how departments would work to address the issues emanating from the survey, and they will report back to council on a regular basis with their progress. So looking forward, your new council met for 3 days in January to establish our own priorities and deliberate on our new strategic plan. This was the first opportunity for our new team to get together to develop a shared vision of our goals for the next 4 years. The strategic plan for 2015 to 2018 signals this council's desire to be bold and chart an energetic, forward-looking course of action for our community. The actions discussed by council generally fall into 4 focus areas: optimizing existing services, strengthening our core, exploring new directions, and capitalizing on growth. As a sampling of some of the strategic priorities coming from the plan, I can share with you reinvigorating and reinvesting in our downtown, exploring ways to enhance municipal service delivery and governance in the region, reimagining and improving our transit system, supporting and enhancing the efforts of our tourism sector, determining our role in addressing the broad issue of affordability in the community, ensuring our services are family-friendly and aligned with our demographics, and investing in the infrastructure required to keep pace with our current and future demands were all things that were highlights for council. Of course, we'll continue to advocate on behalf of our community, particularly for new schools, the continued development of GPRC, the future Highway 43 bypass construction, and badly needed improvements to the current bypass. We're also going to actively work to influence the outcomes of the Provincial Municipal Government Act review and, of course, annexation, which I'll touch on in a little bit more detail shortly. In the end, these items and more make up Council's strategic plan, which will guide administration's planning over the next few months and will all culminate in a 4-year budget that Council will be asked to set this fall. We believe we've established a bold course of action that will support the development of our growing community. Thinking about that growing community and the development, building activity in the City of Grande Prairie continues to be vibrant. While approved permits hovered just around 5,000 for the year, the value of construction actually rose from $254 million in 2012 to $280 million in 2013. Council has approved moving forward with a municipal census this spring. No doubt, it'll show that we're over the 60,000 population mark, given that the city's experienced average growth of 4% per year from 2001 to 2011, even accounting for the 2008 downturn. So we can let the betting begin on that point, I think. We're pleased that the provincial government has announced new school construction for Grande Prairie to accommodate classrooms that are bursting at the seams. We appreciate the provincial government responding to the issues brought on by our continuous growth and our young population, and advocacy efforts of the community have paid off. In addition to Charles Spencer High School, set to open this fall, newly announced schools for the Pinnacle Ridge, Riverstone, and Royal Oaks neighborhoods are all significant steps in the right direction. However, we know there's more work to be done. And this is highlighted by the fact that we have more residents under the age of 4 than we have 65 and over. Imagine that. We have more children who haven't yet entered school than we have seniors. Knowing this, City Council will continue to support our school boards and work with our MLAs so their counterparts in Edmonton truly understand the importance of our needs. To focus a little bit more on infrastructure, 2014 will be a busy year for capital projects in the City of Grande Prairie. We're going to work to continue to meet the needs of a growing community while addressing some long-standing gaps in our infrastructure. In addition to our regular road rehabilitation and sidewalk replacement programs, we'll be undertaking a number of significant projects. Some of these are carryover projects from previous years, and some from 2013 include the 100th Avenue realignment from 90th Street to Landing Drive, and improvements to 132nd Avenue from the railway tracks to 102nd Street. Looking forward, right next door to the fantastic new ATCO facility on the west side, we'll pave 124th Street from Highway 43 south to city limits. And thanks to the province and the efforts of the Airport Commission, on the same stretch of road, we'll see a new set of traffic lights at the airport intersection this summer. Looking to the east side of the city, design for the twinning of 92nd Street from 104th Ave north to 116th Ave will happen this year, and administration plans to bring the construction phase to budget deliberations this fall. In the south, we all know that 68th Avenue is becoming more and more congested. In response, you can expect to see significant upgrades to that roadway being considered by Council in the budget this fall as well. Also, responding to the growth in this area, we're looking to enhance our pedestrian and cyclist network with the construction of a path along the east side of Highway 40 from 68th Ave to 76th Ave. Closer to our community's core, another path will be built at the revitalized Muskogee Park entrance at 102nd Street and 102nd Ave. This path will connect the amphitheater directly to the sidewalk above. And downtown, you'll see more traffic signal replacement in our core, as many of those poles have reached the end of their useful lives and are becoming a hazard. Speaking of traffic lights, our intelligent traffic light program continues to expand. In 2013, the city upgraded all traffic signal controllers in our system to work with the new intelligent traffic system software. So what does that really mean? When the system is fully operational and dialed in, it will allow our traffic lights to respond to changes in traffic patterns in real time and optimize transportation throughout the city. This was the first major project to go live on the city's community-wide wireless program. And soon, we're going to initiate a pilot project to test making use of the system to allow for preemption of signals by emergency vehicles and to give priority to public transit. So I mentioned annexation. Let's turn to development opportunities and annexation. This council clearly understands that the city and county are close partners in the development of our region. Unfortunately, in some areas, we're also competitors. The city must diversify its tax base by attracting commercial and industrial development. And we need to do that to offset our heavy reliance on our residential properties. To be in a position to compete for that type of development, a number of steps have to happen. First, of course, we need the right amount and type of land to enable us to offer a broad range of development opportunities like the county can today. And the only avenue available to us to achieve that is annexation. The short-term annexation area that the city and county agreed upon in the 2010 Intermunicipal Development Plan covers about 6,300 hectares, mostly in the northwest and northeast. The city submitted its formal application to the Municipal Government Board last summer, and merit hearings will take place in October of this year. If the annexation application is supported and approved, the city has asked that it become effective in January 2015. To be clear, this is not a tax grab. If it were a tax grab, the city would have set its targets on Claremont and not land that is largely undeveloped. The city sees this as an opportunity for us to grow our own tax base. And to do that, a second step is to have a plan in place to actually get new developments and buildings being built within city limits. To that end, an industrial attraction strategy was approved by Council last March. Its recommendations were based on input from the business leaders and the private sector, and will position the city to broaden its industrial and commercial tax base. Two of the recommendations contained in that strategy are for the city to consider flexible infrastructure standards and to ensure our standards are attractive to development. So Council has commissioned a study to better understand the differences in the costs of land development in the city and county contexts. This study identified some key differences, including transportation levy costs and the added expense of developing urban roads with curbs, underground storm sewers, and sidewalks. As a result, the city will be undertaking a strategic review of its transportation levies, and we are also initiating the creation of a rural-style industrial land use district to better market the existing opportunities for developing projects to a rural standard within city limits. A new land use bylaw was also approved last fall. The land use bylaw sets the rules and regulations for all private development in the city. We've made a number of changes to respond to community and industry concerns. All of that with the goal of making the city an attractive place for investment while achieving the look and function that our community expects. While annexation proceeds, our council is committed to working with all of our neighboring municipalities to explore opportunities to improve municipal service delivery and governance in the region. We understand that times have changed since 2014 when the village was formed. Back then, it was unlikely that a resident would have lived in Grande Prairie and worked near Hythe, returning home at the end of each day, or that someone in Sexsmith would have made daily trips into the city. But I'm sure that we all recognize that that, in fact, is today's reality. We respect the fact that people choose to live where they do based on a number of reasons, and we believe that that variety of options needs to be maintained in our community. That being said, even though we choose to live in different neighborhoods, if you will, we all are really part of a larger regional community. We know our colleagues on other councils within the region care as much about that community as we do. So we look forward to working with them and to consider how we can make this region, this greater community, even better over the next 100 years. Looking a little more inward, citizens and community partners are always welcome to bring ideas and concerns forward to City Council. Our administration has developed a plan for citizen engagement to ensure all of our efforts are tied together so residents can have a clear understanding of how they can participate in municipal decision making. There will be specific opportunities for residents to participate directly in decisions that impact them, including consultation on our community mobility plan. And if I can, to give a little plug, there's going to be an open house here in this room next Thursday, and we'd love to have all of you join us. Citizens can also have input on how we should proceed with aquatics facility development in the coming years, and I'm going to speak a little bit more on that in a few minutes. Our neighborhood association program is thriving. We now have 5 established associations with 2 more just waiting on their paperwork from Service Alberta, and we could see another 4 associations formed by the year's end. Late last month, the City of Grande Prairie, in partnership with about 20 community agencies, announced the launch of the Becoming a Community Builder initiative. If you haven't heard, this exciting initiative includes 15 weeks of free leadership training for anyone in the community, and there are adult and youth streams available. The program mirrors our belief that the people closest to the issue are the best positioned to address it, and that developing the skills of community leaders will help build a stronger city. Another significant highlight of 2013 was the signing of an agreement between the City of Grande Prairie and the Grande Prairie Circle of Aboriginal Services. This pact paves the way for a greater understanding and collaboration between the municipality and the Aboriginal community. One of the first outcomes of this agreement is our work together on the naming of our North Bear Creek Park expansion. Council has also passed a citizen engagement policy to ensure consistent efforts to ensure consistency in our organization's efforts to reach out to the community. In addition to all of these, we continue to meet regularly with representatives of a variety of community organizations on a regular basis. We do that to ensure that we are abreast of community issues and concerns. So as I mentioned, aquatics facilities earlier on, people are of course interested in the future of the Leisure Centre and Bear Creek pools. Soon you're going to be made aware of a unique public consultation process that will allow residents to weigh in on how we should proceed with future facility development. This is going to include a wide range of options to meet the community need. The options could include any mix of improvements to the Eastling Centre, reopening of the Leisure Centre under either of 2 possible operating models, the reviving of the Bear Creek pool, and or the expansion of our spray park facilities. The difference between this consultation process and earlier surveys is that we're examining our aquatics facilities as a whole, not just the Leisure Centre. And I have to stress that this consultation is not just about pool users. It should be important to everyone in this room. It concerns us all because it will have a significant impact on how we invest your tax dollars. So I'd encourage you to get involved even if you're not at the Eastlink Centre regularly swimming laps. Speaking of Eastlink Centre, close to that facility, this summer the City will construct additional parking lots on the south side of the Community Knowledge Campus, and in time for the opening of the high school, we'll install the City's first ever artificial turf field. In addition to community use, this field will provide the outdoor space for the school's phys ed programs and sports teams, and it will allow us to finally host provincial playoff football in our own community. Also in 2014, we're going to be addressing some of the needs at the Crystal Centre. Many acts today are traveling with lighting and sound equipment that our building physically can't support. Because of this, we've missed opportunities to attract events to Grande Prairie. In response, this council has given administration the go-ahead to work with a structural engineering firm to upgrade the trusses and install a rigging grid to accommodate the demands of today's music and entertainment industry. Work on that is expected to start at the end of May and be completed by this summer. This news has already made a significant difference in the calls administration is receiving from the entertainment industry, and I believe you'll see it in the acts that we're able to go after. So as mentioned at the outset, this is Grande Prairie's 100th anniversary. You've heard that, right? Our organizing committee has an amazing array of activities in store for residents and visitors. Flagship projects for the year will include a history book featuring community builders, past and present, a homecoming on the August long weekend, and numerous activities planned, including an innovation conference, the Alberta Fire Chiefs Association conference, and a community play. There will also be an effort to name 100 parks in our community to recognize our community's history, a soapbox derby competition, 100 years of transportation exhibition, and a symphony in our park. I'm particularly excited to see the trail development projects in North Bear Creek and the expansion of Muskosipi Park being completed as a part of the festivities. This centennial year will be a fantastic celebration and a significant milestone in our history. I encourage all of you and our community's organizations at large to get involved in the festivities. So in closing, it's been my pleasure to update you on some of the exciting things occurring in the community, the challenges and the opportunities that we see in working together. You need to know that your council is committed to taking the steps necessary to help move our community forward. We certainly appreciate everyone attending today and your ongoing support as we all work together to ensure the future of our community is as successful as its past. Thank you.